Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about how the so-called black American woman thinks they don't need the black man anymore because they got what they needed. Also, how the world think they don't need the black American man anymore because they think they got what they needed. How people use you, and once they done with you, they move on to their true prospects, their true desires, what they really want. And what they really want is what has been sold to them their whole entire lives as the archetype, the standard, the pinnacle of success. Usually, that's the white man. Even in Africa, South America, really the whole entire world, everybody's trying to be a white Caucasian man because they see that as the evolution, the natural evolution of humanity. And they attribute all creativity, all invention, all innovation, all technology to the so-called white man, Western white man. But in reality, the so-called white man did the same thing to the American Negro. They came around, studied our architecture, studied our culture, our innovations, used us for it, and now they think they don't need us anymore. Our sports, our games, our customs, even the lottery, Illinois lottery, Mega Millions, Big Game lottery. That was an institution started by the American Negro. And that was making billions of dollars a year worldwide. They stole that from the American Negro. The blues, the rock and roll, the music, the engineering technology. Most of the world's technology comes from an American black man and an American black woman. Now the world forgot about that. Now the world thinks that everything comes from ancient Egypt. But within the last 400 years, or 3,000 years, I should say, Egypt has been gone. Who's been doing the innovation since? We know about the Moors that were in Europe, who did a lot of the innovations when it comes to technology, when it comes to literature, the advancements. But they was defeated in 1492. So conveniently, by coincidence, the same year that the American Negro was put in slavery. So since 1492 up until 2022, all of the world's inventions, innovations, customs came from the American Negro. You look at any other culture in the world, they're still listening to music and dances from 700 years ago. They haven't innovated anything. You go to South America, they still dancing the same, singing the same as hundreds of years ago. They haven't contributed any innovation to the culture whatsoever. So the whole world comes to the United States, and they know the reason they're coming is because of the American black man and the so-called American black woman, right? But they're too proud to admit that. They claim they're coming to America to see the white man. Like I was downtown one day, and these people came talking about they want to see go to a blues club, and they was from South America. They attributed blues to white people because those are the people who came and stole it from the blacks, copied the blacks, B.B. King and them, Albert King and them, and now they get the credit for the blues, a genre that was stolen. They say once they learned how to do it, it's like when the Beatles came and studied Chuck Berry. Once they learned enough, they didn't need him anymore. Paul McCartney is now seen as one of the greatest rock and roll musicians of all time. After he studied Chuck Berry, they don't need Chuck Berry anymore. They don't need Michael Jackson anymore, Little Richard anymore. And now they doing the same thing with the hip hop. They come and study the Negro, study how the flow, study the style, and now they say they don't need you no more. Pop music. They gonna go around the world and imitate our culture, getting all the glory, all of the wealth, and now they say we don't need you no more. We got enough. But when it comes to innovation, it's always a constant state of change. So you could study what we're doing now. You could live off that for hundreds of years. But what about the new custom that comes out? We always developing new technologies, new techniques. You got to keep coming back for more, because you lack the ability to create for yourself. And that people delusional and convincing themselves that it is the so-called white man who is responsible. But it's the so-called white man who has the American Negro under domination. This is the reason the American black woman feels that she don't need the so-called black man anymore, because she sees the white man as the true goal. When they go down in the corporate America, in essence, what they're doing is they're going to be next to the white man, and they get paid money to do this. They leave you. The black man don't have any positions really in corporate America, so they gotta leave you to go to this white man every day and take orders from him and make his corporation successful. And this is what the black women see as success and independence. But basically, you leaving the house and going to the big house to go bake biscuits for master. Same exact principle. Instead of you saying you're going to compete with this beast, let the so-called white woman help the white man. And you use your ability to help the so-called black man to overthrow this government, overthrow this system. But you ain't going to do that, because you've been brainwashed just like the rest of the world has been brainwashed into believing that the white man is the true innovator and the future evolution. You want to have these mixed white babies, whatever, thinking that's going to be the future. But in reality, that's really a decline. It's a standard deviation. You're not really going up, you're going down. And you look at European nations like Ireland, they are not accounted or contributed to innovating anything ever. They have done nothing. Even during the Civil War, they went to the Confederacy to try to keep blacks in slavery. Because if you look at any nation in the world, like say for instance Saudi Arabia, or say Africa for instance, their wealth is attributed to their natural resources. Oil in the ground, diamonds in the ground, gold in the ground, something that you could excavate from the land that they just happen to live on. But they don't really have any type of natural resources when it comes to their culture or their intellectual property. Like Saudi Arabia, their technology comes from America. They didn't really develop any technology, but because they have so much oil, the United Arab Emirates, because they have so much oil, they have all this money. They could pay people from around the world to come with specialties, techniques, But the American black man doesn't really have any power over land, doesn't really have any natural resources, but we have intellectual capacity, we have innovation and creativity, and our innovation and creativity is being exported all over the world. And this even includes the so-called black woman. And I have two case studies right now, and these people are still alive, right? The first one is this lady. Her name is Kizzmekia Corbett, right? And this is going to prove how exceptional so-called black people are, American black people are. It's over 7 billion people on the earth, right? Over 7 billion people. But this lady from North Carolina, It's on Netflix. It's called The Rise and Fall of AND1. Let me look it up. Hold on, The Rise and Fall of AND1. Hold on. Here you go, right here. Hold on. That's about it, though. I just want to talk about how people want to use you, get what they need out you, and throw you in the garbage can. And they think that you're trash, but what they don't realize is what they needed you for is still in you. So you still have the ability to manifest and create. And it's good that they left. They showed you that they wasn't worthy anyway. And what's going to happen is when they need you again, they're going to come right back to you. Just like all these immigrants in the world coming to America, the Africans who needed us to get citizenship, and now they don't need you no more. But they're gonna need you again. So-called white man gonna run and crawl back to the so-called American Negro, begging us for votes, begging us to fight wars, begging us for this. Next time you ain't gonna be able to get nothing. You know, can't keep using people over and over again. And the reason they able to do it is because history don't teach about the previous instances in which they used us and threw us in the garbage, like World War II. But we have YouTube and we have Google, so the next generation are very aware of all of the deception, all of the tricks that has been played against the American Negro by everybody. So they're not going to be easily able to use us in the future.